So, I built a deck that I like to call Titamon Punch, and it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna showcase it for you guys. Roll the intro! Yo, what's up, people? My name is Zay. I am the Digimon expert on the TCG Cast channel, and we have an interesting deck that I'm going to showcase for you guys today. It is a deck that I like to call Titamon Punch. I've played this at my locals. Sadly, I only went 2-2 against it, but oh boy, the games that I've had, this deck popped off like 9 times out of 10, and it's the combos in this deck is fantastic. So let's get into the profile, shall we? So for our babies, got to start off with the babies. We start off with 4 Motimon and then 1 Argomon. So the importance of this Motimon is that it has an inheritable skill that says on your turn, while this Digimon is a level 6 or higher, it gets 1,000 power, which is fantastic. And you'll kind of learn later on in this video that we need this 1,000 power boost. And then we play the Argomon. Now the Argomon, it has a skill, or this inheritable skill, where when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your unsuspend phase, you gain a memory. So if you have a Digimon on top of this, if it's suspended, and then on your turn, whenever you unsuspend it, you automatically gain a memory, which is pretty clutch. I've had some times where this actually kind of helped me out, and it kind of helped me extend plays and whatnot. So let's start with our rookie Digimon, shall we? So our first rookie Digimon we play is 4 copies of Agumon that I believe we've got in BT1. So this Agumon, mainly we play this Agumon because it has an inheritable skill where on your turn, this Digimon gains 1,000 power. That is very awesome because we turn our Titamons into 13K bodies, and we need Titamon to be a 13K, and I will definitely explain at the later on in this video. So the next rookie that we play is 2 Palmon. Now this Palmon, it has an inheritable skill where whenever you attack, if you attack an opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gains 2,000 power for the turn. So if we have, for example, like the Titamon that I explained, it turns into a 14K whenever it attacks an opponent's Digimon. And like I mentioned, we need these power boosts, and I'll explain later on in the video. For our other level 3s, we play 4 of the Argomon, rookie Argomon. We mainly play it because it costs 2 to hard play, and sometimes we need that to kind of choke our opponent so they can't do a lot of stuff, and we can kind of have more of a board presence and whatnot. And it's also doesn't cost anything to Digivolve on top of a level 2, so that's also fantastic. The last rookies that we play in this deck is 2 Tentomon. This card is good because on play, so whenever you hard play it for 3 memory, you reveal the top card of your deck, and then if that card is a Digimon, you add it to your hand, and if it's not a Digimon, you put it at the bottom of your deck. So this card is actually pretty good because it helps us kind of like search through our deck for the pieces that we need, and we definitely need pieces to do the combos in this deck. And so for level 4s, we play 4 Kabuterimon from the green starter deck. Now the main reason we play this, one, because it's a blocker and we need blockers, and this is what I will also explain later on in this video. And then also only costs 1 to Digivolve on top of a level 3. So we can kind of essentially turbo our way up to like a level 5 and even turbo up into a level 6 if needs be. So that's the main reason why we play this deck, or play that card. Now the next card, next level 4 we play is Woodmon. This is also a blocker. The good thing about this is that well, 1, it's a blocker, and 2, it costs 5 to just hard play, which is nice in some circumstances. And then the only bad thing about this is that it costs 2 to digivolve, but that's kind of typical for a level 4. So that's the main reason why we play that card. Now, the next 2 sets of cards, we play 2 Vegemon and then 2 Roachmon. So originally I played 4 of the Vegemon in my original version of this deck. It was good, but there was like so many times where I've had like a hand where I had to hard play stuff instead of normally digivolve. And so it kind of felt bad giving my opponent like 4 memory, in which if I just had Roachmon in my hand, I'd give them 3, and then they couldn't like maximize on me hard playing cards. That's the main reason why we play those cards. So now for a level 5, the main level 5 we play, funny enough, is another blocker. We play 3 Cherrymon. Now low key, I kind of want to bump this up to 4, but I think 3 is just fine. So with the Cherrymon, it's really good because typically level 5s in Digimon cost 3 to digivolve, but for this it costs 2. So not only do we have a cheap level 5 blocker on the field, but we can also turbo into a level 6 quicker, which is fantastic. Now the next level 5 we play, so we play 2 Blossomon, and then we play Argomon. Now, low key, if this Argomon was not limited to just 1 per deck, I would probably play 4 of this in this deck. But sadly, it's limited, so we can only play 1. And Blossomon is essentially the same as Argomon, so they both essentially have the skill called Digizorption 3, which basically means you can rest one of your so when you digivolve into this card, you can rest one of your Digimon to minus the Digivolution cost by 3. So since this costs 3 to regular Digivolve, you essentially Digivolve it for free, which is amazing. Now the reason this Argomon is better is because it has an inheritable effect where whenever you attack, you can play a level 3 green Digimon from your hand for free, but you have to suspend it. So like if we have a level 6 on top of this card, we can attack, then we can play, I don't know, like a Argomon for free suspended, or if we really want to maximize it, we can play the Tentomon for free, then the Tentomon's effect goes off, and then we can reveal the top card of our deck, get another Digimon, and find more pieces, which I think is really awesome. And then the last level 5 we play in this deck is Lilamon. Now, for this card specifically, low-key, you don't really need to play this card in this deck. Like I was mentioning, I might kind of cut this card for another Cherrymon, but also this card is also way too good not to put in a green deck, because it has 2 things. One, its main skill is you can Digiburst 2, which for those that don't know, you just get rid of 2 of your own Digivolution sources to do an effect of the card. And so the effect of this card is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So essentially, you get to suspend. So you get rid of your 2 get rid of your 2 Digivolution cards. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, like maybe like an annoying blocker, or maybe like a bigger threat. And then you can attack into it and have it be gone from the field, which is incredible. Also, it has an inheritable skill where if you have a Tamer in play, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon when attacking, which is fantastic. So if we have like a level 6 on top of this, we swing, then we rest an opponent's Digimon, like maybe like I was mentioning, like an annoying blocker or something like that, and then we just swing for a security check and hope we don't die. So that's all the level 5s that we play in this deck. Now for level 6s, the main level 6 we play in this deck is Titamon. We play 4 Titamon. Now Titamon is awesome because it is one of the few green Digimon in this game that only costs 2 to Digivolve for level 6, which is fantastic. And we can also turbo into another card that for some of you guys are probably familiar with. So this guy is a 12,000 powered monster. You can hard play this guy for 10 memory, which is not that bad in certain circumstances. And then also, if we have the Agumon or maybe even the Palmon under it, we can turn it into basically like either a 13 or 14k body. Or if we have the Motimon under one of these three, it can turn into a 14 or 15k body, which makes our dude really big. And so the other last level 6 we play in this deck is 2 of the Hercules Kabuterimon. So in my original build, I actually played this Grand Kuwagamon, and I'll explain this Grand Kuwagamon later, and I'll kind of talk about how this is probably a good piece. But for now, we'll talk about this Hercules Kabuterimon. So it has an ability called Piercing, in which if you attack your opponent's Digimon and survive, you get to do a security attack, or yeah, security check. So you would essentially take one of their lives, which is always good. Then it has another main effect where you Digiburst 2, and then you get to suspend on your opponent's Digimon. So if we have like some sources under this guy, we get rid of two of our Digivolution cards. Then we swing into that suspended Digimon for Piercing, and then we can clear out like any annoying thing that they have on the board. So that's the main reason that this card is in this deck. Now we do play some level 7s in this deck. Now the main level 7 that we play is 3 Chaosmon. Now what's cool about this Chaosmon is that one, it has Piercing, and then also it has this ability where when Digivolving, you get to unsuspend this Digimon, and then you can attack your opponent's Digimon whether it's suspended or unsuspended. So like if they have like a big like level 6 Digimon that's like 12,000 power or whatnot, we can Digivolve into our Titamon. If I can grab the boy for a quick second. Yeah, so we grab the Titamon. So we swing with Titamon, and then Digivolve into Chaosmon, unsuspend, kill one of our opponent's Digimon, and then since it also has Piercing, we do another security check. So that's why this card is pretty essential in this deck, and it's pretty busted. And so now let's get into our tamers in this deck. So we play 2 types of tamers. We play 3 Mimi Tachikawa and then 3 Jokido. Now, what Mimi Tachikawa does, so at the start of your turn, if your memory is at 2 or less, you boost it up to 3, which is amazing, and that stops your opponent from like memory choking you. And believe me, whenever they memory choke you, it's very annoying. And then it also has an effect where if you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play, you can suspend this tamer to hatch another Digi Egg in your raising area, or you can suspend it to move the level 3 in your raising area to the board. So let's say, for example, we have Cherrymon on the field, right? And then let's say we hatched into a Motimon, if I can find it for you guys. Yeah, let's say we hatched into a Motimon, right? Then we Digivolve into this Agumon, and then we draw a card. Then we suspend this guy to bring him up, and then we can essentially swing with that guy, or we can use it for other purposes. And then if we have 2, so tamers stack. So for example, like with that play for earlier, we can suspend this Mimi to hatch an egg. We can Digivolve this guy, draw a card, and then we can suspend the other Mimi and push it up, and then we can attack with it or use it for other purposes like Digisorption or whatnot. which in my opinion is just crazy. This Mimi, very broken. Very much broken. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we play Joe Kiddo. So at the start of your turn, if you have a blocker in play, you gain one memory. So, kind of like what I was mentioning earlier, if we have, like, let's say we have a Mimi and Joe on field and we had Cherrymon. So at the start of our turn, instead of just gaining 3, we gained 4 memory, which now we have more kind of resources to work with. And then also, like I was mentioning, Tamer Stack. So let's say we had like at least like one Mimi, but we have all of our Joe Kiddos on the field. Instead of starting each turn with 3, we start each turn with 6, only as long as we have a blocker on field. And which is why I was mentioning earlier why blockers is so key to this deck. Alright, so now for our other option cards in this deck, we play 2 Needle Spray. Now, Needle Spray, for 2 memory, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, which is always fantastic. So you can kind of suspend, suspend an opponent's blocker. If you want to suspend one of the little guys to do piercing damage to one of your opponent's Digimon, then this card is the way to go. It also has a security effect where if it's checked in security, you get to activate this card's main effect, i.e. suspend a opponent's Digimon. Then you get to add it to hand, which is insane. So on your opponent's turn, if they have like 2 cards on 2 Digimon on the field and they swung with 1, then they check this in security. Then you rest their other guy so they don't block or so they can't attack, and then you add that to your hand. And then if they like hard play, another Digimon or something, you can just play this and suspend the other guy and potentially kill it. It is a very awesome card. The last green option card we play in this deck is Hidden Potential Discovered. So this card is also limited to just 1 per deck, and it reads: the next time one of your green Digimon digivolves his turn, you can suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the memory cost of that Digivolution by 5. So what we mainly do here is, let's say, for example, let's bring back our good old Cherrymon out for certain purposes. So let's say we have that, and I don't know, maybe this Palmon on the field at the same time. So we play Hidden Potential Discovered, right? We rest our Palmon, then instead of paying 4 memory, we play we digivolve on top of this Hercules Kabuterimon for free, and then we can continue our plays and whatnot. Or let's say hypothetically we just already had this out on the field, then we can Hidden Potential and then digivolve into Chaosmon. Instead of 6 memory, we do it for just 1 memory, which is fantastic. And then we can kind of move along with our plays and whatnot, and it's a fantastic card. Sad that it got kind of hit by Bandai, but it was well needed. And so the last card in this deck that is the main MVP, in my opinion, is Final Zubagon Punch, and we play 3. In my original build, I played 4. But whenever I was playing in my local tournament, there was like a couple times where I had like my starting hand was just like 2 and maybe even 3 Final Zubagon Punches. And you start for those that don't know, you start your hand with 5 cards. So if 3 out of those 5 cards is Zubagon Punch, that is not good at all. So I just cut down the ratio because like I do want to see this card, but like if I do have in my starting hand, I would rather just see like 1 and then maybe see this in security or something like that. But yeah, this card is fantastic because for 2 memory, one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn, until the end of your opponent's turn. Then, if that Digimon so happens to have 16,000 power or more, it gains 3 abilities: Blocker, Reboot, and Security Attack plus 1. Now, it sounds like a lot, so let me walk you through this. So let's say, for example, we have a Cherrymon on the field, right? We have a Joe and a Mimi Tachikawa. And then we have, let's say, I don't know. Let's say we have a Titamon, a Chaosmon, and then, sorry, gotta find the boys. They hiding from me. Let's say we have a Chaosmon, Titamon, Zubagon Punch, in our hand. Let's just say we have that, for example. So we have this on the field, right? So we start off with, and then we start our turn with 4 memory. So now, for 2 memory, we Digivolve into this Titamon, and then we draw a card. Then, I'm sorry. There's a couple more cards we need for this. I do apologize. Let's say that we have, where are you at? Okay. Let's say, okay, so the dream lineup is, let's say we have the Agumon, Vegemon, Cherrymon, and then just for laughs, let's say we have the Motimon all on top of the stack, right? So now Titamon is 12,000, but with the Agumon and the Motimon, it essentially gets plus 2,000. So now it's a 14,000 powered monster. And so for 2 memory, we Digivolve to the Titamon, right? So we swing, or sorry, we don't swing yet. Don't swing yet. We play Final Zubagon Punch first. So we give this plus 13,000, which now it's a 17,000 beast that has blocker, reboot, and security +1. So now we swing at our opponent for essentially two security checks, so for 2 life. Then after that, and if we survive after that, we unsuspend, play the Chaosmon, unsuspend, and then attack one of their opponent's Digimon and do 2 more checks with it, because the abilities the abilities stack on top of the same Digimon. So now, essentially, we took away 4 of our opponent's life, killed killed one of their guys, and now our opponent is in shambles. And now they kind of have to deal with whatever's going to happen next turn. Oh, and then did I mention that on your opponent's turn it gets to unsuspend, and now this card is essentially a 7K or 17K blocker. Yeah, very. It's very. Oh, this deck is so good, so fantastic. And that is pretty much it. Now there are 2 cards that so if you want to make this at home, there's 2 cards that you might want to try out for your own build. So the first card, like I was mentioning earlier, is this Grand Kuwagamon. So with this Grand Kuwagamon specifically, it costs 4 to Digivolve, which kind of seems bad, but it's actually pretty good because it also has piercing, and then on your turn it gets plus 4,000 power. So since it's originally 11,000 power, on your turn it turns to a 15,000 powered monster. And then if you give it a Final Zubagon Punch, it turns into an 18K blocker, reboot, security attack +2, and your opponent has a big guy that they have to deal with. And then you can just swing, block, and your opponent, yeah, they're left in shambles. Like I was saying in my original build, I played 3 of this card and 3 Titamon. The reason I put in 4, the reason why I cut this card out and also put 2 Hercules Kabuterimon instead was because with the Hercules Kabuterimon, I was able to use my sources to just kill an opponent's Digimon and still do piercing. I also I also wanted to put the Hercules Kabuterimon instead because with this Grand Kuwagamon, it kind of felt bad to Digivolve on top of Chaosmon. So that's the main reason I kind of cut it out. The next card that I want to talk about that you can add to your version of the deck is Stingmon. So with this card, when it has an inheritable skill where when this deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you gain a memory. So essentially, if you do piercing damage, you gain a memory, which could be really good if you play like the Hercules Kabuterimon, and even if you swing with Chaosmon, it is fantastic. But that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up the deck profile. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to see more of these deck profiles, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and then ring the bell so you know whenever these videos come out. I have been Zay. I am the Digimon expert on the TCG cast, and I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.